Hi, welcome to Vic Sports. I'm
Mick, and welcome to the Premier League predictions week 34. Vernon's hotting up. People are bottling it. People are getting nervous. London is a place for psychos at the moment.
North London's going nuts.
But it's always been nutty.
True.
I mean, you know. But look, I mean, let's get straight into it. I mean, I was about to ask you on what DEFCON level we are, but that's coming later. There we go. Let's start it off. Let's start. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. We are moving forward, Vern. We're getting closer to 153,000.
Cool, man.
And there's the email if you want to participate. There you go. Let's start. Look, let's put out the scores. I was on 215. You was on 190. I don't know what's going on here. Just allow. Then maybe you can see now. Now you should be able to see the screen. No? Nothing. Okay. No. All right. Doesn't matter. So I'm up by 25 points. It's all easy. It's all nice. It's all refreshing. It's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know. I think we're lagging badly today. I don't know what's going on.
I'll check my phone quickly.
Because I've got no idea what's going on here. Why are we lagging? I've got nothing open. Fuck it. I've got nothing open. I shouldn't be lagging at all. Everything's frozen, Vern. Everything's frozen. So now, there we go. Now there's movement again. There's movement. Maybe it takes a time. I don't know. But it looks like we are frozen.
Yeah,
I'm not. What was it? Huh?
It's lagging big time.
Now it should be normal again. Let's have a look. Now it should be normal. Now it's normal again. There you go. All right. So we're back to normal. That's not always good for us being normal. But let's have a look at those results from last week. Let's have a look at the results, Vern. Brentford, Fulham, 0-0. That was I watched that game. I almost fell asleep. That was like the most boring draw I've ever seen. And I can tell you that I got 1 point. You got no points there. Then Leeds, Wolverhampton, good win for Dirty Leeds. Do you know what? That was the first time this season that Leeds have won 2 games in a row.
Okay.
Are you here or are you not here?
I'm here.
Okay. I picked up a point. You picked up a point. Newcastle against Bournemouth. I don't know how Eddie Howe's not sacked yet.
I don't know how that man's not sacked. Seriously. Good. Maybe they just don't have a replacement for him at the moment. But
if his name was Eduardo instead of Eddie, Eduardo Horas from Spain, he would have been sacked.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been pathetic this year. And then, so they lost 2-1. Both of us didn't have there. We both got 0 points. Spurs, Brighton. Spurs are their worst own enemy. They're leading in the 94th minute 2-1. It's looking good for them. And then they play defense. I saw that I didn't even see that bad defense when I was watching Delhi play on the weekend.
Yeah. I almost pissed myself.
I mean, between Spurs and Arsenal, there should be a new, you have like the East Enders and that stuff in the UK, right? Coronation Street. They should have a new program, a new sitcom, or a new thing called North London Football. I'm telling you, you can't write this stuff. Hollywood couldn't write this script. These boys are terrible, man. Terrible.
Vic, you get what you deserve.
There you go. Well, Chelsea got what they deserved on the weekend.
Definitely.
Well, not actually. Actually, they were the better team, but they lost. And I think we've done it. I think it's done, Vern. We're in the Champions League, baby.
I would give it about 95%.
I just want to tell you how we tipped that. You got nothing because you said it was going to be a draw. I got 1 point. I can tell you now, Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. Man United's coming for the Champions League title next year.
Coming for you, babe.
There you go. Then What a game. Aston Villa against Sunderland, 4-3. Crazy game. But more bad news for Chelsea because Aston Villa also won. Sunderland doesn't really care anymore. Sunderland's season is done. They did what they had to do. They stayed up. Congratulations to them. Then we had the Merseyside derby on Sunday. Everton losing 2-1 to Liverpool. And you got 3 points on that. I got 0 because I said Everton was going to win. Good to you. Nottingham Forest, Burnley. Another nail in Spurs' coffin. Nottingham Forest going 4-1 against Burnley. We both had a win there. We both got a point. City against Arsenal.
1 second, Vic.
Yeah.
Marnus is writing echo. Marnus, I can't do anything about the echo. I put Vic the sound softer. I can't do anything about that.
No, 1 second. Let me listen on my phone if there's an echo. We both had a win there. We both got a point. City against Arsenal. Just 1 second.
Marnus is writing echo. Marnus, I can't.
There's no echo on my phone.
That's you.
There's no echo on my phone. So it's Marnus. It's because when you put something too close to a hollow head, it sounds like an echo. There you go. That guy from Arsenal TV there, Ty, he hears an echo his whole life because it's hollow. Yeah, now you need a cappy, you still need a cappy, and then you have to look like a dumb fucking idiot. Jeez, I was listening to him. They're cheating us. I mean, Saliba should have got red.
I mean, that Gabriel didn't get red. That was unbelievable.
But it is. Look, it was 2-1. You tipped 3-1, I tipped 4-0, so we each got a point. Who do you think's the favourite now? Is it City? Is it Arsenal?
Or I looked in the runnings. I mean, Arsenal have the easier runnings.
What? The Arsenal's got the runs, or what?
Well, that as well. But they have the easier runnings. The last 5 games are a bit easier than that of City.
Yeah, but listen here. Arsenal, they will play better against the Chelseas, the Uniteds, and the Cities. They lose to Burnley and stuff like that. I mean, they couldn't even... They're supposed to be the champions. They couldn't beat Wolves. They couldn't beat Bournemouth. They lost to us when we were cucked, remember?
Yeah.
There you go. And yes, last night, boring Crystal Palace, West Ham 0-0 draw, but another point for West Ham and another nail in Spurs' coffin. So it was a good week. It was a good week. I'll tell you, you scored 8 points. Congratulations. I only scored 5. So you caught up a little bit. So let's have a look. You've moved to 198. I've moved to 220. So you're still 22 points behind. Five games to go. You need, what's that, 3 points? 5 weekends. It's not going to help you. You need a 5 or a 6 point different weekend. So we'll see what you come up with this week.
Yeah.
But no, it's looking good. Before we go to the tables, let's look what the other boys did. I can tell you, Paul Terry scored 5 points this week. So he was as good as I was. Marnus, the young man, Vern, he outdid us all. He scored 9. But like I always say, even the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. Sometimes you just get lucky. That's his best result ever, I think. And then, of course, Lawrence. Lawrence was the man of the weekend again. He got 10.
Wow.
So, yeah, looking good there for those boys. They scored good points there. Let's have a look at the table quickly. On top, look, it's a 3-point gap. It's a 3-point gap. City got that game in hand. They'll be playing first on Wednesday, tomorrow, against Burnley. I expect him to win 2-3, 4-5-0.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
And I expect him to be on top of the table. But then Arsenal play 2 Premier League games before City play a Premier League game. So Arsenal could actually go 2 games ahead again, 6 points, and City got games in hand again. And I always say, if Arsenal can win those 2 and put 6 points on the board, you just put pressure on the other team.
Massive amount of pressure.
Because I would prefer having the points than having to catch up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then I think 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I think that's already guaranteed. I think those 3 are going Champions League. And I think Aston Villa, well, depends. who's in the European Cup? It's Aston Villa, right?
Aston Villa and
But if Aston Villa win the Europa League, they're in the Champions League, but it doesn't open up an extra spot.
no, but what's his name? Nottingham Forest is still in there as well.
Nottingham Forest could win the Europa League and also be in the Champions League, yeah. But Chelsea got to be careful there because Chelsea on 6, Everton and Brighton will not be in Europe at the moment. Neither Bournemouth. They're only 1 point behind, respectively. Chelsea could finish the season in 10th or 11th.
That's definitely possible, Vic.
That would be beautiful.
I mean, that's a 3-point gap between Chelsea and Fulham.
Exactly. Let's have a look at the bottom because that's where it's kind of in. We know Wolves is officially gone. They officially relegated this weekend. Burnley will be officially relegated on Wednesday when they lose to City.
Yeah.
So Spurs are 2 points behind West Ham. They're 5 points behind Forest. And they are 8 points behind Leeds. Leeds is safe.
I think Leeds is safe. I mean, Nottingham Forest has against Sunderland. That could be a potential victory there.
Well, we'll see when we do our tips who they've got against. But I think it's gonna be Spurs at the end, Vern, because it's just who they are, mate. Bunch of clowns. Just who they are. Let's look at this week's tips. Let's get into this week's tips. Here we go. Some big games. Some of them are playing already midweek because the Chelsea, Leeds, and Man City are all in the FA Cup.
Yeah, they're playing tonight.
Some of them playing tonight. Some of them playing. City plays tomorrow night. Okay, so Brighton against Chelsea. What are you going?
I'm going with a 2-1 Brighton.
Oh, I'm trying to help you out here. So I'll go 1-1. I'll just be different just to be different again. Bournemouth against Leeds. Bournemouth are an unbelievable team. They've just announced their new coach. Areola is not renewing his contract at the end of the year. A lot of people think he wants to go back to Athletic Bilbao. Rumours have that he's had a big contract offer from Crystal Palace. And other rumours are he's still on Man United's radar.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's Marco Rose coming in, the ex-Dortmund Gladbach Leipzig coach. He's coming in. I like him as a coach. I think he's phenomenal. Yep. But who are you going here? Bournemouth, Leeds.
2-1 Bournemouth.
You're going 2-1 Bournemouth? I'm going to go 1-1. I think Dirty Leeds just pick up another point and make it guaranteed that they're not going down. Burnley, Man City.
I'm going 3-0 City.
So it's 0-3. I'm going to go 0-5. I think City are going to thrash them. Sunderland against Forest. Now, Sunderland don't really have a lot to play for anymore. Nottingham Forest, play this weekend. And then next week they got EuroLeague again. But I think, if you're Nottingham Forest, are you playing your best team against Sunderland or are you playing your best team in the EuroLeague? I'm going Sunderland because you've got to stay in the Premier League.
You've got to stay in the Premier League. That is definitely... I'm going with a 1-1.
You're going 1-1. I'm going 1-2 Forest.
Okay.
Fulham, Aston Villa.
Oh, it's a tough one. I'm going with a 1-1.
I actually think Aston Villa are going to rest half their squad because they want to win the EuroLeague. They're all kind of guaranteed Champions League football already because they got that big gap against Chelsea already. I'm going to go 3-1 Fulham.
Okay.
Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Palace is always there and thereabout. But Palace are safe.
I'm going to go with a 2-1. No, they're playing at home. 3-1 Liverpool.
You're going 3-1. Well, I also think so because Palace are in the Conference League. They want to win that. I think they're safe already. I don't think they get into Europe in any case. So I think Palace is there where you could say they could basically not take the Premier League seriously anymore. I would also I go 2-0 Liverpool on that one. West Ham against Everton. Big game for West Ham. Big game for Everton trying to get into Europe.
Big game. I'm going with a 1-0 West Ham win.
1-0 West Ham. I got 2-1 West Ham. Okay. Wolverhampton against Spurs. If you don't win this, you're going down. If Spurs lose this, they're going down, dude.
I'm tempted to do a 2-1 Wolverhampton, but I'm not. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
That's a 1-2. I'm going 2-1 Wolverhampton. That's kind of my joker one this weekend because I don't care. If you make 3 points, you make 3 points. Doesn't scratch me. I'm kind of like Man United. I'm in a good position right now. And if Spurs lose this one 2-1, I will be watching all the channels.
No. If Spurs lose this one 2-1 to Wolverhampton, I will concede.
Because I'm telling you, what's his name? Expressions. And poor old Abby, that's always there. I think if Tottenham lose to Wolverhampton, a Jamie O'Hara, I'm going to bring video clips of these people because they're not going to lose their shit, man. Then Arsenal against Newcastle.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal win.
You do know that last year Newcastle fucked them for not winning the year before. It was Newcastle. Newcastle love putting the knife into Arsenal, man. I'm going 1-1.
2-1.
And Man United against Brentford, that's Monday night. We're going to do that one together on Monday night, right?
Brentford's always been our bogey team, man.
Yeah, but we've had problems with Brentford, yeah.
But I'm going to go 2-0 United.
Doesn't look like they're going to have any problems. I'm going to go 3-1. So we've got our tips out for this week. Look, Vern, I think if you don't catch up, let's say it stays at these 22 points. Or if I go up a few points, it's done, right?
It's done.
Because believe me, if me and you are up, if I'm up by like 5-6 points in the last round, it doesn't matter what you're tipping, I'm tipping. Now, I'll go first on all the tips, okay? From now on, so that I can't manipulate the outcome, you know? But we'll see. That's the kind of guy I am. I'm just fair, man. I'm just a nice guy. People know that. There you go. So, that's our Premier League predictions for week 34. Look, I think the Champions League spots are taken. 1 to 5. The question is who's 1 and who 2. I think City wins the league. I think I want City to the league. I need City to win the league because I want those boys to cry their fucking hearts out. You know what? There's only one person. I think everybody in England, other than Spurs and City, want City to win the title. Spurs never want Arsenal to win anything, right? I think everybody else would say, it would be nice for a change if Arsenal won it 22 years, somebody else. But then again, whoever watches the AFTV and sees that dumb twat tie, he's the reason everybody hates Arsenal. He's the only reason.
I want Arsenal to lose because of idiots like him.
I do not. Is there a dumber person in world football than this man?
No, that's the wrong. Is there a dumber person on the fucking planet?
He's even dumb on Clandacton, man.
He can't even play, you know that film Dumb and Dumber? He can't even play that role because he's too funny.
Yeah, dumbest, the most fucking dumbest of ever times. He's just a dumb ass. I can't watch that show anymore. I used to like that show, you know, because I like the other guy there with the Caribbean accent there, Yardy. I like him, and I kind of like Robbie and Lee Judges and stuff. I like those boys. But honestly, you can't watch that, man. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But hey, that's us for today. We're going to be back in 40 minutes with the rugby show. Just don't go out of out of the link, because we'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
And no, fine. So hey, Premier League predictions, week 34. This is going to be a good week, man. All starts tonight.
Already tonight, man. Take care, guys.
Ciao, ciao.